until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
We need to get community. We need this thing to be bigger than just our little circle of players and coaches.
Are you kidding me? Touchdown, Oregon.
With 2 seconds on the clock. He hits it!
That's the bigger picture in this thing, allowing the community to celebrate the hard work, blue-collar mentality this group brings to the table.
And the Ducks have won it. The Ducks have won.
We get to struggle together, and we get to have joy together.
Dante will dribble it out. The Ducks are Pac-12 tournament champions.
I am so proud right now to be the head coach at Oregon.
Oregon's a Fiesta Bowl champion in a 12-win season.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
It's a big day around Oregon Athletics because football season tickets are officially sold out. Shout out to all the Duck fans making it happen. So much excitement heading into this season. This spring game is going to be off the charts just based on the season ticket sales. Shout out to the Ducks. Football season tickets are officially sold out. I cannot wait to see everybody at Autzen Stadium. I honestly don't have a great read on how many people are going to be at the spring game. Is this going to be a sold-out spring game? Like, are we saying that the Matt Carney concert in conjunction with the most excitement heading into a Duck football season in probably a decade, are we saying that that's enough to sell out? Season tickets are officially sold out. You can secure a mini plan or submit a 2025 season ticket deposit at goducks.com/FBTix. We will still have some mini plans coming out for those of you who have not gotten in on the season ticket bonanza, but it really is a bonanza. I wonder if there's going to be 50, 60,000 at Autzen Stadium coming up in less than 2 weeks. Not this weekend. Next Saturday, we'll see you all at Autzen Stadium. That's awesome. Football season tickets officially sold out. Also announced today, surplus sale is here, ladies and gentlemen. On Saturday, May 4th at the Mashofsky Center, priority access can be secured by season ticket holders and Duck Athletic Fund donors. RSVP by Thursday, May 2nd at 5 p.m. Here are all the nitty-gritty details. There is a surplus sale on Saturday. It's at the Mashofsky Center next to Autzen Stadium. It's Saturday, May 4th. Saturday, May 4th. The sale will run from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. or until all product is sold. As an exclusive benefit, current U of O season ticket holders and Duck Athletic Fund donors are eligible for priority access to the surplus sale. You can start lining up at 7:30 a.m. with the sale starting at 9 a.m. Then, a random line drawing will be held to determine which customers will enter first. All season ticket holders or donors with priority surplus sale tickets can line up by 8 a.m. If you line up before 8 a.m., you will be entered into the lottery, which will determine the order of entry. If you try to line up before 7:30, you can't. And also, it doesn't help you because at 8 a.m., if you're in line, you're up for the lottery. So my plan would be get there at 7:59. You know? You roll in 7:59, you're going to be entered into that lottery to get in first. Then, general admission fans will be admitted at 10:30 a.m. This is important. If there's anything left. It's possible there might not be anything left. I'm serious. The priority access line, if you're in line by 8 a.m., then you come in the northwest doors of the Mashofsky Center near the Duck Store entrance, and then general admission fans will be admitted at 10:30 if there's anything left. General admission fans can start lining up beginning at 9 a.m. at the southeast corner of the Mashofsky Center facing Autzen Stadium. The lottery process ensures that all fans who arrive prior to the listed deadline will have an equal chance of gaining entry. Priority access can be secured by logging into your account, same account you use for Duck Athletic Fund and tickets. All these details are on GoDucks.com. I realize that was a lot of information. Tickets can be shown on the Oregon Game Day app. All the details available, GoDucks.com. No cash, only Visa. All patrons age 2 and above will be required to have a ticket. Remember, the tickets are important. And you can get that priority access if you are a season ticket holder. And now we know there's a record number of you, which is absolutely outstanding. Shout out again to all the Ducks everywhere. Meanwhile, some updates for Oregon baseball, Oregon track and field. Track and field with some weekly honors. Men's golf's in action today. Coverage live on Golf Channel today at 4 o'clock if you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour. Some great news coming for Ducks softball. Melyssa Lombardi going to join us. Hannah Delgado slated to make a full recovery, which is outstanding news after she crashed into the wall in center field. Really scary scene. We're going to talk with Coach Lombardi coming up today. No show yesterday because Oregon baseball was putting up double-digit runs against Gonzaga. Ducks got the win. We're going to talk about that. Before heading to Stanford this weekend, Ryan Milano will be sitting in this chair because I will be on an airplane chair with Oregon baseball tomorrow because Stanford is the next opponent for the Ducks. Also yesterday, spring football practice continued, and Dan Lanning talked with the media, the Oregon football head coach. We had so much to cover in the opening segment, including the Duck football head coach. Brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a Duck with exceptional cancer care close to home. The head coach after practice yesterday as spring ball continues.
Some really good back and forth today. Had some team competition periods, some third down, 4-minute get the ball back situation there at the end of practice. Thought our guys handled it really well. Continue to drive and push ourselves to improve. We can go and open up.
After watching the film from Saturday, how do you feel like your team overall?
Yeah, I thought there was some really good back and forth. Like I said, offense was able to start a little bit hot with one of our groups, but defense probably won the day overall. But there was really good, back and forth. Still a lot of things for us certainly to improve. Right, playing with effort after the ball's in hand. Right, if you don't have the ball, turn up, body up. Tackling can improve. Right, so going to challenge those things in each one of our position groups. What are the hardest things that you have to do at your position consistently, and how are we training that?
Austin Novosad just developed in his now full year of being here?
Yeah, I mean, you go from being a freshman coming in, having a little bit of a deer in the headlights feel, to where Austin really knows our offense now, right? He's able to go out there and operate and do it at a really high level. He's had a really good spring.
Does that translate on the scrimmage for him?
Yeah, it's translated throughout the spring for him.
You mentioned a couple times throughout the offseason, Dan, the preference to have 4 quarterbacks, and who wouldn't, but it's also becoming increasingly rare for teams to be able to do that because who wants to be the 4th quarterback in the age of the transfer portal? How have you been able to navigate that so far, to have guys like Austin, like Luke, to buy into these roles as young quarterbacks?
Well, I think every player has to understand that it's about them going out on the field and getting better, right? As long as our players feel like they can go out there and they can make an impact by getting better and improving themselves, those guys realize, hey, that there's an opportunity for us. We don't really care who you are, if you're good enough, you're old enough, right? And if we have quarterbacks that can play at a high level, that's going to be a good thing for the Oregon Ducks. I think those guys realize that.
What are some keys you're hoping to see from first scrimmage to second?
Just improvement. You guys keep asking me that question. I'll keep telling you we want to get better, right? So the mistakes that we made in scrimmage 1, I don't want to see us make those same mistakes in scrimmage 2. Situational awareness, I think that can continue to improve as well.
A year ago, Malik Terry was relatively unknown when you guys hired him. To this point, have you seen the development you want from him? Is he above your expectation? What's it been like?
Yeah, Malik's doing exactly what I expected Malik to be able to do. I know he's a rising star in the profession. He's got great relationships with our players. You look at that group and they performed really well last year. It's a new challenge. It's a new year, right? So, Malik's pushing himself to continue to get better with the other guys in that room, and he's done a really good job of that so far. But, O-line it's tough. You got 5 guys working in sync, right? You got guys that have to have position flex and be able to work in multiple spots. So it takes a really detailed teacher, which Malik is, and a coach that's really passionate about making his players better. And you can tell he cares about his guys. That's where it starts. They don't care what you know until they know how much you care. And he's one of the coaches that live by that.
At the halfway point, I know job's still not done, but are you seeing improvement? Like you just said, you want to see improvement. Are you seeing that from day 1 to the halfway point of camp right now?
Yeah, certainly. Certainly seeing a better team right now, and continue to hope to see that improvement as we move forward.
What was Rashad's first week? coaching running back? How'd that go?
Yeah, I mean, you get thrown right in the middle of the fire really early, so he's doing a good job transition. You can feel his presence on the field even more today. The more he gets comfortable, the more you'll feel him out there on the field. But I think it starts the same thing. He's got to go build relationships with the guys in that room, show where he can provide value for those guys to improve, and he's doing that. He hit the ground running.
Have you seen the buy-in that you want from the running backs with that kind of document?
Yeah, we have a great running back group, right? We have a great running back group with some veteran leadership and some young guys that are continuing to get better and better. And I think that's exciting to see.
As he gets settled, how does his role also in the recruiting trail kind of fit in terms of, does he just inherit the board that was and just goes about attacking and contacting the guys that were already contacted, or how much input does he have in reshaping the board going forward?
Yeah, every one of our coaches has input in that board, but obviously there's some previous relationships that we have that we want to be able to build off of. But we look for every single coach on our staff is looking for somebody who can make our team better, right? And that look never stops, regardless of their transition or not. If there's something that we can feel like can improve our team or enhance us in the future, we want to keep our eyes open for those opportunities.
Well, you guys have been on the field the last 3 hours, basically just been a transactional deal because of all the portal entries and whatnot. It's open for you guys as well. Are there areas of need you feel like you guys can address here over the next couple, weeks ahead, but as guys go in over the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, anytime there's, right now I feel really good about our team, but on the same note, if there's something that can enhance our team, make us better with the right character fit, with the right pieces, then that's something we have to keep our eyes open to.
How important is roster retainment, too, in that regard?
Yeah, retention's really big, right? It's about retaining the right guys, the guys that are out there trying to get better, trying to improve, give our team an opportunity to win.
How do you feel like you most improved over the past couple of years balancing the transfer portal and development in the spring?
Well, it's ever changing, right? It's continuing to roll, and I think it's about being on your toes. But I think our staff's done a good job of that, and I think our players have done a good job of realizing what exists here at Oregon. But we've had a lot of success in the portal, right? It's something we'll continue to use to enhance our program. We've also had a lot of success developing guys in our roster that have come here as freshmen. So we're going to continue to look at that and assess that and adapt as the landscape continues to change.
Have you navigated allotting a certain number of officials for potential transfers, potentially even before the end of spring for the spring game? Like, you have to say what the number is, but do you have a set number in mind then of, like, with the expansion to 70, that there's 10, 12?
Well, I think the expansion to 70 has kind of protected that in a lot of ways. We like doing our officials in the summer and then postseason. Sometimes it'll happen in season. Not a big proponent of doing them in the middle of spring because our focus is really our players.
You talked a lot about the culture and developing the culture, bringing the right guys in here. Is there any kind of idea of guys that move around, player movement, like 3 or 4 or 5 schools? Is that an issue at all for you, or? I think you have to assess each player individually. There's a lot of relationships that we have, and we've done a good job of being able to assess that. We've had some guys that have come here that have been at multiple schools and performed really well. It's as much about your culture on the team and what you can handle when you bring something in, and then what's your investment when it comes to onboarding, right? If you bring somebody here, how hands-on is your approach going to be? And we've had a lot of success with that.
What's the development been like for Jordan James since stepping up with Bucky?
Yeah, I think Jordan's running, like an angry guy, which is exactly how you want your running back to run, right? He's out here really improving in spring. I've seen him do more out of the backfield with his hands. Definitely has a better understanding of what we're trying to accomplish on the field. So really proud of Jordan's development and where he's headed.
Kind of similar. Is Noah Whittington looking more like the Noah Whittington of old? You've got some more time now to see how he's progressed.
Yeah, and I said this before spring. We're being really conscientious of Noah. We don't have to throw him in the fire. We know what Noah can do. So he's getting more and more added to his plate throughout practice. But also he's probably not let go here from a full limitation standpoint. We're being pretty conscientious about that.
It's the legislative proposal to allow analysts to actually coach. Is it safe to presume that you would be in favor of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm in favor of us developing coaches, continuing to grow the profession. I think that gives an opportunity for you to have more hands on deck. You talk about a football team that has 120 players and 10 coaches, right? In my mind, it would be beneficial if we could have more coaches that are able to have hands on.
Would that open the door also to more? You guys were already visiting quite a bit on Fridays in season, Dan, but if analysts could coach, would that open the door to more of the staff being able to go on the road on Fridays in season?
No, I don't see the limitation. I see limitations still being in place for who can go on the road from a recruiting standpoint. It's going to be more about who can have more of an impact on our players at practice.
Have you seen Nico Reed kind of settle in here in the second year of the system?
Yeah, I'm really proud of Nico and his progression. He's continued to get better. He's a guy that we were able to have conversations with after the spring, and he was able to tell me, hey, here's the parts of my game that I want to attack. Really smart player, really savvy player, so he's done a great job for us.
Coach Lanning meeting with the media, always brought to you by our friends at WVCI with exceptional cancer care close to home. This is a great time to be a Duck. I was just thinking here, like, as Coach Lanning's talking about positions and the battles and all this excitement, and then I'm also reminded that both Diamond Sports are in full swing hunting for Pac-12 championships, and it's senior day coming up for Oregon softball. A little earlier than normal with the Pac-12 tournament. Every regular season series moved up a bit, and then the Ducks have a non-conference matchup because of the way the Pac-12 schedule fell later at the Jane, and we thought, well, let's do senior day on rivalry weekend. That's coming up. We're going to talk a little bit of men's golf, a little bit of track and field, and then on the offensive line, you just heard Coach Lanning talk about Coach Terry, what he's meant to this team. Going to hear from the offensive line coach for the Ducks, Alik Terry, when we come back. It's Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. More coming on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Deer Spring Showers. These tough Toyotas can handle whatever you got. The rugged Tacoma, trail-ready 4Runner, and the versatile RAV4 Hybrid turn your puddles into playtime. For more, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Deer Spring Showers. These tough Toyotas can handle whatever you got. The rugged Tacoma, trail-ready 4Runner, and the versatile RAV4 Hybrid turn your puddles into playtime. For more, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
This message is for Karina. Our mom will finish her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmettith and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot fast and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Surplus sales been announced for May 4th. Football season tickets are officially sold out. All the details on GoDucks.com for the surplus sale and your potential minigame plan if you're interested in joining us at Autzen Stadium for one of those. Heard from Coach Lanning a moment ago. Now, Alik Terry, Oregon offensive line coach, a unit that has to replace some big-time players. You think about a guy like Jackson Powers Johnson, arguably the best center in the country this year. Going to be a very high draft pick. How's that offensive line looking? Some new faces, too. Alik Terry with a lot of updates for us on the Oregon O-line.
Talked to you quite a bit before the bowl game about Poncho and snapping, and first time in an extended time. Well, all right, he's had an the good part of the offseason will start working. How's it been looking?
Poncho's been looking excellent. I mean, I think the best thing for Poncho was he was doing it last year, too, and he was always in a rotation, so when it happened, Liberty game, it wasn't really a shock for him. It was just him just getting the starting role. So for him to be able now to get comfortable, you can see the confidence that he's playing with now. This is what we've been waiting for. I mean, he has the physical attributes. It's just now getting comfortable with snapping like he has, and that's what it's been all spring.
What are some of the other things that go into being the starting center as opposed to he was kind of reserve, kind of Swiss Army knife? But what changes just kind of big picture for him taking that role?
Big picture, not much. He's still got to be confident. He's still got to communicate. He's still got to be the leader whenever he's in. So for the most part, it's just a little bit more requirement out of him to always be right, especially running with the bigger groups and starters and things of that nature. So for him, it's just having that confidence and having that presence no matter what the defense gives us. Obviously, we see a ton of stuff from our defense, and it helps him because he feels confident in making those calls and making those looks.
How huge is it for you guys to have both of your starting tackles be able to return and have that kind of experience from last year going into this year?
It's a blessing. I mean, to be in this same situation last year, it was kind of like you didn't know who was going to be the guys, and to now have that continuity, everybody's competing still, but to have guys that you know can play high-quality football, JC or Johnny are some of the two of the best in the nation. I mean, all due respect. And they put that on film last year. So to have them back again this year as an O-line coach, we are ecstatic, obviously. But it's also the leadership group that they have. Like now, they're so much more vocal this year than they were last year, and it comes with confidence.
What's been your impressions of Bedford, and just what you like about him in the portal to bring him over?
That older leadership presence, that's what he is. That's what he is. He's going to push, he's going to grind. He's always looking to compete every single day. That's the type of energy we need in our room. Win, lose, or draw, he's trying to go win. That's what he's trying to do, point blank. So for him right now, it's adjusting to the playbook, learning because it's all new to him. But that presence, that maturity, that feistiness, he's bringing it every single day.
Yeah, a lot of position versatility at Indiana. Is that going to be the same case for you?
Same thing for him. And you know it's spring. Guys will be playing multiple positions. So just for him to get comfortable in our system, one, and get comfortable playing multiple positions.
What does Marcus mean to your room, Malik? Because he's one of the few guys that dates back to your first tenure here, and one of those few guys on the team that dates that far back. So just experience, is always valuable, but like his experience a little bit different than others.
No doubt. And I think the thing that Marcus has taken on is he's attacked his body just as much as the grind, and I think the younger guys are seeing that. So the leadership that he has, he's been a leader for a long time. He's got that presence about him, but like you said, having that continuity with the older guys and the younger guys, he's got the respect of the older guys, like the guys who've been here since way before, and he's got the respect of the young guys like Shaq and guys who just got here like Shaq and Trent. So his presence is always needed in our room. He's the alpha in our room because he's been here the longest, but he matches it with his play. So for us, Marcus is an invaluable piece for us, man. He's always going to be that stronghold for us, and because he's got so much position flex, he can play all three in the interiors.
How comfortable do you feel in the role now after a year on the job, and what do you think you've grown the most since coming last year?
I won't say I'm comfortable, because we always strive to be uncomfortable, but I definitely have a little bit more comfortability with what's going around us, you know what I mean? So it definitely does help to now have a year under us, to have a bunch of guys returning. But the law firm being together this long, we know how to work with each other. We know what our guys are looking for. We're now in a tempo and a system and rhythm where we're always looking to be uncomfortable, but now you have the continuity with each other. We know what to expect. We know what that standard is and what it looks like to increase it.
What's the next step for Josh in his development, just being that left tackle?
I mean, for him, it's just all our guys is going to be continued growth. I think the next level for JC, and he's starting to do it already, is just to turn that a-hole up. Finish, nasty, grudge, because you can see from an athleticism standpoint, you can see from an assignment standpoint, he's going to be where he's supposed to be and how he's supposed to be there. And for him, we challenge him to turn that a-hole up, and he's doing that already.
What have you liked from Jaquan McRoy as he's gotten his feet wet with his first experience in college football?
Big Shaq is Big Shaq for a reason. That's a large man. And for him to get comfortable in our system, still learning the plays, obviously, mid-year, but for him to see the athleticism a large human like that possesses, both him and Trent, our young guys that have come in mid-year, they've handled it. We've kind of threw some fire at them, and they've handled it. And they've been able to play next to each other a little bit, try to challenge them to see how much of the system they know. But when not, putting them next against the older guys so they feel a little comfortable to have that communication and continuity. But those two guys are going to be special for us.
How has Trent kind of adapted? Because he went from very little experience of high school football, and the state of Oregon's not known to be the most competitive place,
But even then, there are ballers, and the history is shown. In the PNW, there are offensive linemen that are here, and we do a good job of making sure we keep them here. We have a ton of guys. You have the Jake Hansons, the Shane Lemieux, the Calvin Throckmortons, the Brady Aiellos, the Ryan Walks, the Alex Forsythe. You can go on the list on and on. Trent just happened to be one that happened to be a under the rug guy. He was a lacrosse player, basketball player, but he made the transition after that senior year. And to see how much he's already developed, that's a credit to his trainers, a credit to his high school coaches, because he came in way more advanced than people anticipated, but he's been working on his craft. He's an athletic human being, so if he sticks his mind to something, I don't think there's not much he can't do, for real.
I know you cross-train, but what kind of just long-term projection?
Whatever he want to play. He's got that athletic ability, and what's surprising about Trent is his bend. So obviously it'll be guard or tackle right now, but I wouldn't be opposed at some point of him trying to snap the ball, because he can play with great bend to be that large. And you can see him next to Shaq. Those two dudes are large humans, man, for real. I'm glad they with the Ducks.
What is it, Johnny, been focusing on this spring league so that a year from now he's looked at as a potential Thursday night guy?
So for him, it was his size in the weight room. And for Johnny, he's turned into an animal this offseason. He attacked the weight room. He's playing with probably about 12, 13 pounds heavier. And you can see that he put it on the right way. Coach Wilson Love and our strength staff did a tremendous job with him. He put it on the right way, and he's still moving as efficient and as explosive as he was last year. But you can see by his presence, he's a much larger human than he was last year.
How important is this month in particular, not just to everybody's developmental league, but specifically to the twos, because a year from now, you're going to be replacing 5 to 7 guys. and maybe 4 starters. You're going to have a lot of answers in that case. So how important is this time to that, and how much cohesion have you found in the twos as you're mixing and matching personnel groups?
And I think, to me, that's the biggest thing of why we do so much mixing and matching during this time. This is the time you get to develop. There isn't a game in a month. The only game we have is against ourselves. So if we can continue to develop all our guys in multiple positions, you can challenge them a bit more right now. So this is the time to challenge them, because, like you said, last year at this time, the Janorises, the Lee Pays, those guys were lost in the world a little bit, but right now they're competing for us right now. So it's the same thing. You want to continue to develop those guys every single day, but have that comfortability in whatever position that they are or to get most comfortable with. That's where you see their future at.
Is Kavika working mainly at tackle now?
Yeah, so like Kavika's our swing guy. He can play tackle or guard. So right now it's probably mainly tackle, but he gets some guard reps too, and he'll do it on both sides.
What's Ryan Walk like as a coach?
Ryan Walk is the man. Like, obviously, he was the man when I was a GA here, and he worked his tail from a walk-on to a scholarship to a multiple game starter. And he's been season ticket holder. He was sitting in that stadium. So everybody here knows who Ryan Walk is, but to have that presence in our room, one, half these guys play with him. So they know exactly who he is from a respect standpoint, but two, he knows so much ball. He helps the law firm without a doubt. So to us, I mean, we're blessed. Again, this family that we have here with Coach Cav, we got Walkie, myself, Coach Caleb. I mean, we got guys right now who can continue to help our guys, and not just me, the whole family.
The addition of Ryan Walk to the law firm was just a great hire by Alik Terry. The law firm, if you're not familiar, that's the group that works with the offensive line. They've kind of adopted that nickname, the law firm. It's perfect. Honestly, it's so good for the offensive linemen. And there's a lot of combinations that get thrown around, right? Like, Terry, Cav, and it just goes on and on. It's pretty fun, though. And talking about that position versatility, the Ducks have moved guys around, and I liked even Kavika Rogers. Coach Terry talked about how he can be the swingman. He can play anywhere. Going to need that. Offensive line is I feel like you never know how important it is until something goes wrong. It's a little bit of those guys just do their job. They're so selfless. They're so unselfish. That's always the view of an offensive lineman. When we come back, we're going to talk with Coach Lombardi. Also some updates on men's golf. They're in action today. Track and field with some honors. But next, great news coming about Hannah Delgado. That's next. Stick with us. Coach Lombardi with us next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Into the building for the first time after the shooting. It was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack joined in the Country Financial Studio by Coach Lombardi. Talking softball with the Oregon softball head coach. These are tough. Let's start with how's Hannah Delgado doing. That was a scary scene. If you didn't see it, if you weren't watching the game and tuned in, Hannah made a tremendous catch going into the wall in center field on Friday. And then, unfortunately, that's when things get tough. I've always said, Coach, injuries are the worst part of sports. Just wanted to give you a minute to talk about it and update fans on how she's doing.
No, they are. It's the worst part. I mean, you just see her go back for the ball, and when she did, you could just see the collision that she had with the wall, and it put her down. And I think everybody's been kind of following along to see what happened after that. But, you know, Hannah did have to have surgery. And I am very, very happy to announce that everything was successful. We were expecting a full recovery for her. Gosh, I can't even say enough about Hannah and just how strong she is and just her fight and just how she went about this from the beginning of it to getting to that procedure and having success with it.
Yeah, I can only imagine the emotions for the team, for you going through that, and also a chance to maybe ask you a bit about the training staff in Arizona. I mean, these are the people that probably don't get celebrated as much as they should, and in a moment like that, man, that's scary stuff. For sure. And the first thing I would tell you is just Kate Pinkerton, our trainer, was unbelievable. I'm so blessed, thankful that she is our trainer and the things that she just does for our athletes on a daily basis, but then to get into be in the middle of a crisis and for her to stay calm and do, her training kicked in and everything that she needed to do, she did. She was unbelievable and was a big, big reason for Hannah and Hannah's recovery. I would also love to talk about Tracy Oshiro, who is Arizona's trainer. Unbelievable, and how she assists KP. And just their entire event staff, the paramedics, like every single person involved with the situation were on point, which allowed Hannah to get the care, like the direct care she needed instantly at Banner Hospital. Dr. Bruce at Arizona, I can't say, I should have came with a list of people, but I can't say enough for how everybody handled the situation. It could have looked a little different if the situation wasn't handled correctly, and they were unbelievable. So that is just something for us that just gave us some relief. It was difficult going through it, but just seeing the care that she was getting and how they went about it was unbelievable. Something that struck me in following along, because we were on the air calling the baseball game on Friday and then throughout the weekend. Tracy worked at Oregon.
Yes.
Tracy's a Duck. That's right. Once a Duck, always a Duck. And, Coach, it really struck me that in a moment like this, like you're competitive, it's a top 25 series, and we're going to talk about that, but it's so much bigger than that. And you all had the what I thought was a really serene moment. Both teams circle up, a moment of silence, a prayer for Hannah. It's bigger than softball, isn't it?
It is. And you know what? The softball community, and I'm sure it's like this in every sport, but, there's athletes on Arizona's team that Hannah grew up with and played with on the same summer team. And, it's just amazing how our community, we all, come together, when something maybe is not going our way or we're dealing with something, some adverse situation exactly what we were dealing with. And, sure. So it just to see everybody come together was, I would not expect anything different. Like what happened is, I'm not surprised the least. That's what happens.
That's cool. Well, if you're just joining us, Hannah Delgado expected to make a full recovery, and it is senior weekend coming up. We're going to talk about that, and it sounds like she's going to be here this weekend.
Yes, she is. I will be there, Coach. I will be there. There's no way I'm missing it. I just love. She will be there.
That's great. That's outstanding. Okay, now to softball. The way that your team responded. So dropping a close one on Friday, but the way that your team responded, maybe even in the Friday game. Taya Bird hits a home run after all this happens, and how does the team handle that? The way you responded, just take fans through it if you could.
Well, I think after that, when they were taking Hannah. Our team went out into right field, and they got to just see her, which I feel like they needed that, and she needed that. And then we got together and we just talked. We prayed, and we talked about how we wanted to move forward. and we agreed, like, let's move forward and let's finish this game for her. She'd want us to finish it for her. Let's finish this. And to see Taya, who's Hannah's buddy, come up and just hit a bomb for her it was pretty magical.
Yeah.
And just to see these guys, just, it's tough. Like,
It is.
I don't know, in softball, you don't see stuff like that. I
Right.
think sometimes maybe it's a little more common, like contact sports,
Sure.
and you don't see that for us. And so we decided we wanted to finish the game for her, and to see them just kind of dig deep and to do that, I thought that was pretty special.
And then winning game 2. I mean, I can only imagine what that night is like for you, for the team, for Hannah, for everybody. And then you come back and you're back at the Diamond and you win on Saturday. Just that 24-hour period had to be pretty unreal for a lot of you.
It was. But, it's just so interesting. You think about, like, who provided the strength for us, and to me it was Hannah.
Nice.
We got to talk with her that morning, and she's like, I can't wait to watch you guys play.
Yeah.
So whether we're playing or not, we're playing, because she cannot wait to watch us play.
Yeah.
And so I just think about us trying to provide strength for her, and then I look and I'm like, wow, she's dealing with this injury, and just dealing with this injury and the strength that she provided for her teammates and her coaches, and saying, I'm okay. Like, I think that just really made a big difference for all of us. Like, gosh, Hannah, she's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
So special.
That's great. Coach Lombardi joining us. So then it's a rubber match, right?
Yeah.
I mean, huge game. So now on the field itself, a battle of a ball game, it felt like. Paige Sinicki hits the game-tying home run, forces extra innings. I mean, I know it didn't go the way you wanted, but what a series, what a game. What'd you take away from the field on Game 3 and throughout the series?
You know what? It didn't go the way we wanted, but still to look at what we did that weekend and everything that was going on. This team is a really, really special team. This team really loves each other, and they play hard for each other, and they work hard for each other. And I just feel like Arizona just did a little more. They just did a little more. Our fight is there. Like, our team is in a really, really good place. It was just a tough weekend, but they gave everything they've got.
Yeah.
And if we do that, that's all we can do sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You give everything, and if you don't, sometimes you don't fall on the right side of it, and we didn't. But this weekend, I think, is a valuable weekend, and I think good things will come of it as we continue to move forward.
Well, and to go back a little bit, to put some of this in context, it was a long road trip in Arizona. We haven't talked with you since getting a win against a Grand Canyon team that is, well, definitely a tournament team at this point, may very well win their conference. That had to be a big win. I know you only went 2-2, but still, RPI, all the things that start to really matter here at the end of the year, like, that was a big postseason resume-building win.
Absolutely. Grand Canyon is a very, very good team. That's a 30-game winner right now. That's a team that's going to win their conference. That's a team that plays the majority of their games at home.
Mm-hmm.
There is a home field advantage in sports and in softball, and so to go into their field and to I think at that point they had an 8-game winning streak that we busted. That's a big win. We talk a lot about, the wins that we get and what that allows us to do, and, their body of work and how it allows us to put it towards ours. And that was a big win.
Yeah.
That really started off the weekend for us. So.
And throughout the entire 4-game regional is what it felt like to me anyway. So Elise Sokolsky, I wanted to ask you about her, the pitching staff in general. I thought Elise Sokolsky really was nails for you in some critical situations.
She was really good. She's one that we've had to just slowly bring about this year, and you could just see, like, she's every outing she's getting more innings, she's getting better and better, and you could just see just the type of spin she has on her ball. Her changeup is really, really good. It's just getting more and more comfortable. But, we needed her this weekend, and I thought she did a really good job, especially in Game 2 coming through. And then also, getting back out there in Game 3.
Right. And then Morgan Scott, I mean, we talk about this closer mentality that she's clearly developed. They have different looks to them. I mean, Morgan Scott, good for you again this weekend.
Demon mode. That's her. Demon mode. When she comes into close, everybody knows she's ready. But I think she's in a good spot. I feel that way for our entire team. Like, we're in a part of the season that's like, okay, where are we at as a team? And regardless of how the series went for us, we are in a really good place.
Yeah. Coach Lombardi chatting with us for another couple minutes. So now senior weekend coming up.
Mm-hmm.
It's also rivalry week, by the way, across the state of Oregon, at least on the softball diamond. What do you want to see here for senior weekend? And also, I know a little bittersweet for senior weekend.
Yes. No, I love senior weekend. It is bittersweet because, we get to celebrate them, but then we are also recognizing that they're leaving us, and it's just always tough. This group, they feel like they've been with me for 10 years, you think of just the different things that we've gone through. They've been unbelievable. Like, I'm so thankful for this group. I have nothing but, I don't know. I'm blessed to have this group and the leadership and just all that they've done. And so we are going to have a major celebration for them. And we're excited for it to be on rivalry weekend as well. But it's going to be a good one. I can't wait for our fans to come and celebrate them as well.
Looks like great weather at the Jane. Sunday's game after Sunday's game.
Yes.
9 seniors will be celebrated for Duck softball. Happy to report Hannah Delgado will be there this weekend. Fans, I'm just going to tell you right now, a big standing ovation would be pretty darn cool. It would mean a lot to, I think, everybody.
Yes, for sure. For Hannah and for her buddies. I mean, you just think of what they've done for our program. We always talk about, coming here and leaving it better than you found it. And this group is going to leave it better than they found it. And I really hope our fans will stick around after the game so we can celebrate them together.
Last thing I want to ask you is one thing on a senior. Ariel Carlson's absolutely in the conversation for Player of the Year in the conference, right?
Yes.
Make the case.
I don't even have to make a case. That's unbelievable. I mean, if you could just rattle off the statistics.
All right, here we go.
Double-digit bombs.
Pac-12 co-leader in both home runs with 12, RBI with 45. Also top 10 in slugging percentage, doubles, walks, and steals. I mean, that's mic drop. That's right. Good, great, good. I'm glad we could do that. That was great. Ariel, if you're tuned in, we're making the case for you. Anything else, Coach? Anything else fans should know heading into the weekend?
It's going to be a great weekend. It's going to be a weekend of celebration. It's going to be a weekend of great softball. Come. We love to hear your rumble. The rumble never gets old. Please come. We're going to have beautiful weather. We can't wait to see you.
It's going to be great. Rivalry weekend. We'll be talking about it all throughout the next few days here on the show. Come to the Jane. We'll see you there. And, Coach, thanks for being here. Appreciate the time. Quick timeout. When we come back, back to a little bit of football. We've got some baseball for you ahead. A lot to cover. The spring. It's the best time of year on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Spring Showers. These tough Toyotas can handle whatever you got. The rugged Tacoma, trail-ready 4Runner, and the versatile RAV4 Hybrid turn your puddles into playtime. For more, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Spring Showers. These tough Toyotas can handle whatever you got. The rugged Tacoma, trail-ready 4Runner, and the versatile RAV4 Hybrid turn your puddles into playtime. For more, visit Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because feeling full can sound like this.
How did the interview go? I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
And like this.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project!
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations! Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/act now. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container, because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack with you in the Country Financial Studio. Heard from Coach Lombardi, have heard from Coach Terry and Coach Lanning. A lot to cover. Football to the diamond with softball. Now to track and field. Shelby Moran and Mason Strunk have swept the Pac-12 Field Athlete of the Week honors. It was announced yesterday afternoon by the league office. These are the 4th and 5th weekly awards for the Ducks just this season. And second career selection for Strunk. First, Moran, though, tallied a season-best measure in the Hammer, and also at the Long Beach meet was stellar. Second overall, finished as, the top collegian in the field. She extended her lead in the league and currently ranks 6th in the NCAA in the hammer throw. Sherwood, Oregon native, reigning Pac-12 champion in the hammer. Strunk recorded a lifetime best, meanwhile, in the hammer at the Beach Invitational as well. Finished 6th overall in the Invitational section. With his outing, he moved up to spot to number 7 on the program's top 10 list and improved his personal best by 15 inches. The Salem, Oregon native ranks 3rd in the Pac-12, 20th nationally. 2 Oregonians taking home the field honors this week, as announced by the Pac-12 Conference. Coupled with the efforts in the hammer, the Ducks registered 9 top 25 marks this past weekend. Oregon women checked in at number 5 in the latest USTFCCCA rankings. Everybody remember what that stands for? The United States Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association rankings. Every time I read it, I'm like, USTFCCCA. We have got to find a way. You cover a lot of ground, though. The United States Track and Field and Cross Country Coaches Association. We need a better acronym. Scott's trying here in the studio. Every time I read it, I'm tongue-tied. In any case, congratulations to the Ducks. That's a big-time honor, the weekly awards for Shelby Moran and Mason Strunk. Meanwhile, men's golf, they're in action today. Owen Averett and Grayson Leach each finished inside the top 10. The number 25 Ducks moved within 6 strokes of the lead after the second round of the 77th Western Intercollegiate on Tuesday. This was a true odd convergence of lives for me, and it happens once a year. It's in Santa Cruz, California, at the Pasatiempo Golf Course. My aunt and uncle-in-law live on that golf course. And Oregon, every time Casey Martin takes the Ducks down there, I'm always like, of course, I can't get on the golf trip, to get a chance to go home. Yeah, it's really impressive, though, what the Ducks have done. Oregon has, so far today, already gotten another eagle. Oregon is the sole leader as things stand with the Ducks midway through their front 9. That's the update today. Oregon surging in round 2, continuing to surge in round 3. If you are live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, maybe you're listening on 95.3 The Score in the 2 o'clock hour. 4 o'clock today, Golf Channel has the coverage. You know what I'm going to be doing today? Watching golf. Coming off of Masters weekend. That's a good feeling. Awesome stuff for Oregon men's golf. All right, we talked offensive line earlier. Let's continue to do that. Matthew Bedford, he met with the media earlier this week. New offensive lineman for the Ducks. Let's hear from one of the new additions for Alik Terry's O-line for the Ducks.
Kind of what went into the process to leave Indiana and why here?
Just really focusing on the next level. My development was really the main point. Sitting down, having great conversations with Coach Terry and, the staff, and figuring out my deficits and things that we need to fix going into the next level so I can be ready. And, that preparation has been great so far.
You were committed to, I think, Colorado briefly. What was the process of kind of making that decision? Was that tough when you already kind of were going one way and had to go different?
Yeah, it was pretty hard. But like I said before, we sat down and had a great conversation. It was best to do what is best for my future and everything. And they understand. They have a lot of great talent in that room, a lot of great people that's going to be able to add to their situations. And so I'm excited. I'm excited for them. I'm excited for us because I'm going to be able to add to this room and be able to help with the already potent center room that we already have.
What impresses you most about what you're walking into in terms of the talent around you?
I love the edge that this room has. It's not. It's pretty rare that an O-line room has as much of a chip on our shoulder as we do. The knowledge in this room, a lot of experienced guys, a lot of guys that have taken a lot of reps, including myself. And it's great to be able to bounce ideas off each other, and in game situations, and on the field, be able to communicate well and clear.
What is that difference in the room, Matt? Because when you are coming into a room that's had a Remington Trophy winner, has led the country in fewest sacks allowed each of the past 2 years, had a good string of NFL guys the last 4 or 5 years. What's the difference from not knocking where you were, but there is a difference statistically and in performance. So what did you notice in the meeting room that is different in how things are going about?
I say to focus on detail, and that's in our culture. We focus on hands, like thing in order to. It's not just completing a job; it's the process to get into the job here. And I'm learning myself that I need to focus on that, the process of things. You know what I'm saying? Being able to get the process all the way done so that the situation is solved. You know what I'm saying?
What is it like learning from a GA who was doing your job 2 years ago?
Yeah, he knows exactly what it looks like from being on the field. You know what I'm saying? So you be able to have those conversations with somebody that actually played the game, that's actually been in the situation that you've been in, and be able to help you with it. So when you get out on the field, you be able to roll and be able to play free.
Yeah. You played guard, you played tackle, you played kind of everywhere in your career. Why is right guard maybe a good fit for you, and is that maybe attractive in terms of that being an open position here?
That kind of leaning towards that, and I kind of go off of what the coaches need. You know what I'm saying? I'm always the team first guy in that instance of, I have that capability, so I'm able to fit in wherever you guys need me to. It just so happened that the right guard spot was open, and I would be able to help with those guys, and I've been able to gel with those guys well. Talking about Mark and talking about Poncho and AJ and all those guys in that position. So it's been great.
Let's talk about some of the areas that you need to work on. What are they specifically? What are those areas that a year from now we're talking about the draft and that you're in a position?
All those things, like the details of the hands, being able to have a really great stance so that when you get out of your stance, you're in a great powerful position to be able to take on defenders. These guys on this level, they're flying around and they're coming at you at full speed every rep. So it's an intent behind your set and the hands, all of those things. That focusing on all the details of being a great offensive lineman. I'm good right now. To be great, you know what I'm saying?
What has stood out to you about Jamari and going up against him when you have as another transfer, but pretty powerful guy from what I hear? Yeah,
pretty powerful guy. You know what I'm saying? He tested out my ankle and my anchor a couple of times, and definitely had to focus on hands with him and have my hands in the right position so that I'm again in that powerful position to be able to take on guys and be able to protect. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Obviously, you spent a lot of time in the Big Ten, and you're going to remain it here. Yeah. Kind of looking at this team, how do you think you guys are set up to compete in that conference?
I like our eyes in the big. Yes, sir. Yeah. It's not no big dogs no more. It's just us. So it's just us. I like it.
That's Matthew Bedford. That's just well said, Just well said by a guy who was in the Big Ten at Indiana, now here at Oregon. Like to see that. Great stuff. All right, when we come back, we've got a lot of spring football interviews for you that Ryan's got on the show tomorrow, but I do want to check in on baseball because the Ducks are coming off a nice win over the Zags. We're going to do that after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for greatest of all time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
What is dedication?
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that my kids wouldn't have a father. And I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. I definitely had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack with you in the Country Financial Studio. Duck baseball yesterday. 7 spot for the Ducks in the third inning. After they got out to a nice start, they led 11-0. Yeah, they led 11-0 going to the fifth. Now, things got a little bit interesting. Zags scored 7 of their own in the seventh, kind of chipped away at the Ducks, made it 11-9. Suddenly, it's a ball game. I was getting a little uneasy in the broadcast booth. Then the Ducks got a couple more runs on the board, in large part due to Jacob Walsh and Chase Meggers with home runs. Ducks had 6 total home runs in the game against the Zags yesterday, ultimately won the contest in relatively impressive fashion. I think for 8 innings, Oregon was dominant. In the 7th inning, some pitches that they'd like back. You don't give up 7 without a few pitches that you'd like back. But 6 total home runs, tied for the most in a game. The last time, and here's what's amazing, to put this in perspective for you, right? The last time that Oregon hit 6 home runs in a game was just March of last season. Oregon's offense the last 3, now 4 years has been staggering. The long ball continues to be a real weapon for Oregon in midweek games, and then finding a way to manufacture runs any way you can against good pitching in the Pac-12. The Ducks have proven now that they can win with multiple formulas, and they're going to need that hitting the road against Stanford. So Mark Wasikowski recapped the game yesterday. Ian Umlaut, by the way, outstanding. Back-to-back midweek starts where Ian Umlaut was excellent. Did not allow a hit until the 5th inning. Went 6 strong innings for the Ducks, saving that bullpen for the road trip to Stanford. Shout out to Ian Umlaut for what he's done. It was Mike Friend for a couple weeks. It's been Ian Umlaut now for a couple weeks. Ducks have gotten some pretty doggone good starts in their midweeks in 4 of their last 5 midweek games. That's what you need. That depth is important. Jacob Walsh also now still hitting long balls. He's chasing Sabine Ceballos' single-season record. We're going to hear from all those guys. Ryan's got you covered with a lot of baseball and football tomorrow. Good luck to the golf team today. We'll be tuning in.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force, and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is, my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately,